Yes, sir. And here we go, everybody. All right, everybody, welcome in to good old 4th and 5. Very excited here to have one of the greatest to ever do it. I'm talking about Razorback wide receiver. We got JJ Meadors in the house. Very pumped up for you to be here. This is what we're going to do. Everybody tuning in right now. So the audience is slowly building up online. We're going to be doing this each and every Monday night. Somebody said something to me earlier today because I said a kid won trivia. We're going to play trivia. People are going to have a chance to win some cash prizes and all that good stuff, some giveaways. And somebody said, wait, a kid won? I didn't know kids could go to the casino. It's a different ball game here at Mainline. All right, this is a family-friendly environment. All right, so I feel like a lot of people don't know that. So we're going to make sure that we encourage you to bring out the kids, bring out everybody. That's how they're going to be able to meet all of these Razorbacks moving forward. I didn't even think about that until somebody said something. So once again, I'm here joined by JJ Meadows in the house. JJ, I appreciate you, man. How you been?
Man, I'm doing great, and thanks for having me, man.
Oh man,
I really appreciate it.
I'm pumped up, man. I'm very excited to have you here. And like I said, we're gonna go down memory lane. So this is what we do. I always encourage people in the chat. All you have to do, any question you have for JJ, just go ahead and leave a comment, and we'll pull those up here on the screen. But once again, the goal of all this, I know a lot of people try to figure out what's so and so doing. This was one of my favorite Razorbacks. I wonder what they're up to. This is what we're doing. So week 1 we had Jarius Wright. Week 2 we had Tyler Wilson. Week 3 we had Sam Olajubutu. Now we got JJ Meadors, Joe Adams next week. And then y'all keep on sounding off and let me know what guys you want to hear from. I'm going to do my best. A big shout out to OAKLAWN being a big part of everything we have going on here, allowing people to come out here and have a chance like JJ to hang out with me for a couple, I would say, hours or so. You can do whatever you want here. It can be 30 minutes, 2 hours. We're going to have a good time.
Absolutely.
After the stream goes off, JJ, we open it up into a game night. You're going to see a lot of these guys from the Wise Guys come in here. This is the arena football team. There goes my guy right there. I don't know if you've been to one of their games yet. I checked them out actually a couple days ago. They be popping pads, JJ.
Man, I love it.
I was shocked.
I love the arena football, though, man. I love his fast pace and a lot of throwing. So I love both of those, both things about
Well,
that.
I thought the quarterback for the Lunkers, wherever they were from, was going to be out in the first drive. I mean, somebody came down from the secondary and absolutely laid wood on somebody, and that was very special to see. But once again, y'all go ahead and leave your comments so we can start popping those up. Give it a second, let everybody get in. This guy right here who's walking in right now, you'll see he's one of our big time. There he goes right here. Big fan of yours, by the way. So he'll be talking to you here in a little bit.
Absolutely.
All right, JJ, but let's go ahead and get into it, man. Everybody want to know what has JJ Meadows been up to lately?
Well, man, I'm actually in insurance now, and I don't think anybody kind of grows up and saying they're going to end up being an insurance agent. But actually, was just recently named district manager for Northwest Arkansas for Colonial Life.
Yeah.
And we're an insurance company. We deal mainly in B2B, and we do a lot of employee benefits.
Okay, knocking it out. So people want to reach out to you. How do they go about doing it, man? What's up about getting that business?
Man, definitely you can go to Colonial Life. We have a regional office here in Northwest Arkansas. Or, man, you can always just reach me directly at 972-904-5589. And, man, we're all over the state of Arkansas and then also in Texas. And, we're just trying to make sure we get all the employees over across the United States covered and protecting their assets and their paychecks.
So for the young bucks out there, I am no longer the former Razorback. I'm that dude from the news. All right, all these young people, we know him.
Yeah,
He's on
absolutely.
the news. Mama, what's his name again? So I have to always remind people exactly what's going on. So for those of our younger viewing audience right now, what years did you play? What coach did you play for? And we'll go down memory lane here in a second.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I played back in the good old days. I came here in 1992, graduated in 1996, and I was a two-sport athlete here. I really was very fortunate that I came in at a time. I was on the first team that actually played in the SEC. So over that time, man, I was a part of 4 national championship track and field teams under Coach John McDonald. Just really glad those guys kind of let me tag along here and there, and being able to kind of experience that. And then I was a 4-year letterman on the football team. I was a 3-year starter. I was a single season record holder for receptions. I think I had 62 receptions. You were very close to breaking that record.
61.
Yeah, you was behind that.
Oh, you was keeping track.
No,
huh?
man, I was really surprised that record stood for 16 years, and I think Jerry has ended up breaking it. So, I mean, when you come here, you're not expecting to be in the record books. You just want to get out and play for the Razorbacks and run through that A, and just anything that you can get on top of that is bonus. And then finally, man, we had 3 very meager years here, my first 3 years in the SEC, and then finally my senior year we broke through, won the SEC West, and played Florida in the SEC championship.
Yeah, we'll talk about that game here in just a second. But I want to talk to one of our big time viewers on YouTube, Pernices Pete. I never can pronounce his name. I've probably been getting that wrong for the past 2 years. He wanted me to say, I know you're going to talk about the catch, and we're going to talk about all these things, but he really wanted to really showcase the track aspect of it. I mean, you just weren't a part of this track team. Y'all made a name for yourself. Y'all won a few things.
Well, man, the funny thing is when I came to Arkansas, I was 5'6", I weighed 142 pounds, and I was not very highly recruited for football. Now, some schools did recruit me, but I was kind of more known for track. I was national. I was number 1 in the nation in 55 meters in my high school, and I was top 2 in the country in 100 meters and 200 meters. And that's really why I kind of was the difference in me coming to Arkansas for the national championship track program under Coach McDonald. And man, he was just one of the greatest people that I was just very fortunate to be around him. And I learned in football, it's the ultimate team sport, and you learn how to work hard. But the thing that I learned about being around those guys is I really learned how to win. I learned how to be in the moment. I learned how to meet expectations. And there are a lot of expectations when you go into big meets like Penn Relays, Texas Relays, and NCs, and people are expecting you to perform well, and then you guys just go out there and do it year after year.
Yeah, do it year after year for sure. And I'll say this, when it comes to speed, there's a guy right now that I don't know. He just announced that he's going pro. Jordan Anthony, of now former receiver for the Arkansas Razorbacks. He transferred from Texas A&M, had a couple highlights on the football field, but now he's going to be a primary track guy. How impressive is what he's doing? Now, it was wind aided, but he ran a 9.75 not too long ago.
Man, the thing about it is so funny because people ask me that same question. I remember getting dead last so much my first year or two in the SEC running track because I wasn't running track full time.
Yeah.
So when you're running against guys who are going to be in the Olympic trials and who are going to be national champions, man, it's very hard. It's very hard to be a dual sport athlete, but it's very hard to be a dual sport athlete and perform at the level that he's performed at this year. And man, I was honestly a little bit sad to see him go ahead and turn pro. I think over the course of his career, he would make more money if he kept playing football.
Okay,
yeah, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I think there's money in track, but it's not the same as a 5-year. Is that second contract in the NFL?
Unless you're that guy, and it's hard to be that guy in track.
It's Usain Bolt and Michael Johnson, and that's a very short list.
Yeah.
But, I will say this, man. When I look up and I see this kid has run the fastest time in the world, he's doubled, which is very hard to do in the SEC, doubling the 60 meters and then coming out and doubling down and backing it up with the 100 meters championship NCAAs, man. And so he's just on a great trajectory right now, and I'm pretty sure he has his eyes on making it to the Olympics. And that's, I tell people all the time, I know a bunch of guys that played in the NFL. I only know a handful of guys that got on that podium at the Olympics. So
ain't many.
Yeah, man, it's very hard to do.
Ain't many at all. Let's go ahead and I usually watch film first. Actually, let's get into state of the program. It is now officially football season, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
Very, very tough outing for baseball. Good news, though, in baseball. Vahiva Aloy won the Golden Spikes Award, the number 1 or the top players, the Heisman of college baseball. So shout out to him. Now, do I wish he turned 2 on that one play? Yes, but we're going to just talk about it. My bad. I didn't mean to bring it up, It's too soon. Sorry, Miss Donna. We got people that were in Omaha. Maybe we turn 2. We make it happen. Who knows? You still got to beat Kate Anderson the next day. They had so much lined up. So LSU did their thing. Dave Van Horn, what he's been able to accomplish at the University of Arkansas. I mean, it's just – I think any coach right now would trade positions if they could have the career of what Dave Van Horn has had. 23 years at Arkansas, always in the conversation, but that's behind us now. It is officially football season. I think it's 8 Saturdays until kickoff over there up in Fayetteville at 3 p.m. It's going to be hot and toasty over there in Northwest Arkansas. Then the following week, we're going to be at Little Rock. We're going to show out Little Rock 4th and 5. We're going to have a huge tailgate out in front of the stadium. We're going to have Arkansas State, Arkansas. Very excited to hear your thoughts on that game. Never thought that game would happen, but here we are. But what do you think about the program right now?
Man,
That doesn't sound promising. What was that about?
man, just to be honest, man, we're in a tough conference in that, you're having to play LSU and Alabama and Auburn and Texas A&M
Yeah.
and I think the hardest thing for people to understand is that we can be very good and still lose 4 or 5 games.
That's tough.
You can have a pretty good year and be 7-5. You can have a decent year and be 8-4. But to get to those 10-win, 11-win seasons, you got to be very good, and then you also have to be very lucky. But I like the way we finished the year last year. I felt like the guys kept competing. I feel like if we can short some things up on the offensive line and protect Taylor a little bit better, I think he'll perform better this year. Also, second year under Petrino, and we know what Petrino does on the sideline, man. He has the ability to dial some things up. I think he was handcuffed a little bit last year with the O-line play, and also just with Taylor not being very accurate at times. So, but I think he'll be a little more accurate this year. I think they'll protect him better, and I think the offense will be high-powered. I think T. Will, defensive coordinator Travis Williams, I love the guy. I got a chance to spend some time with him last week in Fayetteville, man. He's just a very dynamic coach, man. I think he has things going in the right direction, and it was just interesting to listen to him talk about adjustments they made over the course of the season, losing guys coming back, man. So I think he has his pulse on there. But we're that second game that you mentioned a little bit earlier, I think that's going to be very intriguing, and it's almost a no-win situation for us playing Arkansas State. And I love it. Don't get me wrong, guys.
Yeah.
I think people know I'm in all over Arkansas, dealing with a lot of high school kids and training. So I love the fact for football in Arkansas that they're going to play. I hate the fact for the Razorbacks, because if we don't beat them by 50, it's a loss. So, it's just a tough position for our coach to be in, and considering that that's a non-conference game, and the reality of it that it really doesn't.
There's a lot of pressure on it too.
But it's probably the biggest game he'll play, early season.
All right, let's go ahead and take a trip down memory lane. All right, so I pulled up a few plays. I've been watching some film. All right. And JJ, you got some really cool tape out here. And for those of you who are not too familiar, you're about to learn something right now. Okay, so let's hop into this first one. I'm going to play a few. I'm going to run them back, and we're going to talk about a few things. But here goes JJ right here. You can see who y'all playing. South Carolina. Barry Lund is your quarterback.
Yep.
Nice little catch over the middle. Now we're going to run this back, all right, because my dude is a dynamic player. Who would you compare yourself to as far as, a player that you see nowadays?
I would probably say the cheetah. I would say that's probably
like that, huh?
I mean, just realistically, two former track guys,
Yeah.
very small in stature, guys that have the ability to score end zone to end zone. So, and he's probably a little bit faster. But I definitely think some probably in that mold.
So you see JJ right here at the bottom of your screen. He's going to be running into a place which is called no man's land. All right. That's usually where I made my living. All right. I was in the middle, and I was over there, head on a swivel, ready to get my head knocked off. Usually don't see someone of your stature in the middle, but that's where you ended up, right? And I'm going to tell you what makes this guy so special. So you get to this point right here. This should be at most guys that I've seen nowadays. They'll go ahead and just lay it down. They'll go ahead and give themselves up and move on to the next play. All right. You got your guy. You got your eyes on the guy in front right now. But your vision to make these other guys miss, what take us into the mindset of JJ Meadors right now, middle of the field with 3 guys coming down on you?
Well, just the main thing right here is third down, and I want my quarterback to always just throw me the ball under the chains. And that's
under the chains.
That's a big deal on third down.
Yeah,
under the chains. But as you can see, I want him to have confidence to throw the ball to me under the chains right there, and I can go get the rest of it with my feet. So I just tried to keep it alive, and as you saw, I just made sure that I got enough to, get us another set of downs. And it's very interesting because my role changed a lot over the course of the time that I was there. My senior year, we had Anthony Lucas and Anthony Eubanks, and I really became that third down guy running the choice routes and the middle routes. And so, but I just, just give me the ball, coach, and hey, let's get 4 more downs. Right.
So most coaches would want you to turn this upfield.
Absolutely.
JJ say not on my watch. All right, I got a little something extra. All right, so not even looking at this guy coming more to the left of your screen. Put him in a blender. Look at him right there. Keep your eyes downfield. And this is what's impressive, all right? You still got a ways to go. First down mark is about 4 yards away. You got 3 guys all have an angle on you, but this is where speed comes in. Anyone else, this is going to be a tackle. You won't even get across that 40-yard line right now. but it's different when you got the ball in your hands.
It's different when you're 140 pounds and you're out there you're running for your life. I wish I could say, yeah, I was out there, but I mean, just on Saturday, man, it's that gazelle and that cheetah on the Serengeti.
Yeah, not too many people in this situation pick this up, but just speed around the corner, making another guy miss right there, getting a couple more yards before you going out of bounds. All right, we're going to go and play this next one right here. This is across the middle, South Carolina. Same game. We're going to go ahead and run this back right here because I'm trying to figure out. Most people think this is just all schemed up because if you look right here, JJ's coming across. Look at all of that open field at an easy throwing lane. And I'm thinking busted coverage, but if we play a little bit more, your guy has you covered. He's just about 5 yards behind you. All right, the dude is stressed out trying to keep up with you. Man-to-man situations, you know it's a must-go-get-it. How often is somebody stopping you, holding you man-to-man?
Man, I think I'm winning 100 out of 100 times.
100 out of 100, okay.
So. And then, I mean, I think, understand that's the mentality that you have to have there. South Carolina was primarily a two-man team at that time, especially on third downs. And so that's just a play where I let those two guys clear out, and then I just come underneath. So, and then just try to beat them with speed, and then catch it, and just try to get some a little bit extra with it after the catch.
So it's funny, guys. You can tell do not like trying to guard you all day. Look at this guy after this play. You've already popped up, and he's taking a second. All right, dude's tired. All right, he's running around trying to chase you all game, and I think that's a pretty cool scene, especially how fast you pop up. You see all these other guys, stature-wise, way bigger. But they just can't keep up with you. They hate guarding you.
Man, I just tried to come out early on every game, and because it's such a confidence game. So if a guy jams me in the first half or the first couple of plays, he feels like he can jam me the whole game.
Yeah.
So I just always tried to start off fast and just keep guys away from me and keep a lot of pressure on them. I didn't want them to feel relaxed while I was out there, and I wanted them thinking. And the more they're thinking and the more they're worried, it keeps them from playing fast.
All right, let's go ahead and take a look at this one. So I'm just curious about your mindset on this one. All right, and this is going to be coaching tape. All right, you got to learn from our stuff. So I think this is great coaching tape. What they did right here, you see JJ, he's circled in the white. He comes in motion, and what that does, that allows you to kind of have an indicator of who's going to be guarding you man to man.
Absolutely.
They make it very easy to see it's going to be this guy on the inside. Now, the thing is, this is going to be an option route. My graphic wouldn't let me go in, out, and do all that stuff. I'm going to just put where you ended up being. But I would say you give JJ that much space, he's almost unguardable. All right, so the key is giving JJ some space. And so the way that they try to do that on this play, if you can see, is by having this outside receiver run a corner route. And this is where I like to try to teach young guys, even if the ball is not coming to you, finish your route, all right, because it opens up lanes for other people.
Absolutely.
You can see right here, as soon as he's done with the corner, he kind of stops, all right? Now, a good thing about it is you created enough space, the ball comes out quick, but now you should have walked and danced in the end zone, no problem right here. But your guy, who is that on the outside running that corner?
That's my guy, Anthony Eubanks, out there on the outside.
Yeah, he tried to get your head taken off on this play.
Yeah, he was supposed to clear, but I think he thought the ball was coming in here and he saw Barry throwing, so he was ready to sit down there, man. And the interesting thing about this play, this is the exact same play that we beat Alabama on. So it's
we'll show it.
It's the Z choice. But a couple of weeks later, we came back and we played Auburn, ran the same thing in a goal line situation, and the corner came off Anthony, and Anthony ended up scoring a touchdown against Auburn early in that game.
Awesome.
So
both people are big time options on this
man,
one. Yeah,
it's a lot different. I remember being in the huddle my first 2 years, and you're playing SEC teams, and you don't have that. And then I remember standing in the huddle my senior year with Anthony Lucas, Anthony Eubanks, and Madre.
Kind of helps, right?
And now all of a sudden that does tend to open up the field as to what you're seeing here, though.
See right here, very tight window. You end up catching it, touchdown, Arkansas. All right, let's go ahead and keep it moving. I brought that up because exact same thing. Comes in motion, kind of get the indicator. You can see Bama ends up bumping this off. Now the guy on the inside has you man-to-man coverage. Now this, I would say, is probably your most famous or most infamous catch that people try to say, was it a catch? You know, this is before replay was a thing. Big time celebration. You can see him right here. Come in motion. Who's that? Barry Lunny. And then it's a tight one. It's a tight one. Referee calls it a touchdown. You go crazy. I got a question to ask, too, as everybody's freaking out. A lot of Razorback fans remember this game. Who was number 99 on your team?
Yeah, that's DJ Cooper.
DJ Cooper.
Yeah.
I'm convinced he had money on this game.
Man,
All right, because look at the celebration of my guy right here, Big 99, just jumping. I mean, he had money on the game. I don't know what he is celebrating like that.
Absolutely.
But the cool thing about it is, I love the sideline reaction.
Man.
I think a lot of Razorback fans would love to get this back. It's been a minute. And since we've had those moments to where it just seems like a lot of people said, what's going on with this Razorback curse right now? But to see the sideline engage, today's era, you got players coming in and out all the time. It's hard to build that camaraderie. You got 99 jumping up and down at least a 40-inch vertical on the sideline because his boys are out there playing the game that it's the way it's supposed to be played. How special is that? And do you think that's still possible to have in today's game?
Man, I don't care how many times I watch that. I still get goosebumps. I'm like you. I watch it all the way to the end. You know, you don't win games like that in the SEC without it being a team victory. The coolest thing about that is that our defense gave up 88 yards in the second half of that game.
Wow.
We kept 3 and out, and they kept 3 and out, and they just kept giving us a chance to win it. And they played lights out, and then finally we were able to put together 2 fourth-down plays on their last drive. We had a young freshman receiver out there, Anthony Lucas, who made a big play on a 4th and long that kind of kept the drive going. And then, you know, obviously we were able to get down there and make the last one on 4th down. Now, the funniest thing about this is that probably about 7 or 8 years ago, Steve, my guy Sully, was doing a deal about the Razorbacks.
Steve Sullivan, Channel 7?
Actually, my guy.
Yeah,
and,
he's awesome.
And so one of my kids that I train, and you know I train young kids, and he comes in,
Yep.
This kid is like 10, 11 years old. He wasn't even born. And the first thing he says, Coach, if they had instant replay back then, I don't think you would be a big deal right now. So
why they hating on you like that?
Man, it's funny, but the funny thing about it is that you know, back then we didn't have, you know, iPhones and you weren't getting the video live. So I didn't see the play until I got back to Fayetteville. So I remember it being in the press conference after the game, and, you know, they were asking me, did I make the catch? And I'm like, oh, without a doubt. You know, I got my hands under it. You know, it was no doubt. But then when I saw it on ESPN a little bit later that day, I understood why people, you know, questioned it. But, you know, it's just at you know, real live game time, you know, there was no doubt in my mind that I got my hands under there and made the catch.
I ain't trying to hear all that. Questioning nothing. All right. That's why I'm here. All right. I'm the eye in the sky. All right. So once again, 99 celebrating. You got to love that. Here's a closer look as you're running to the sideline. Man, what a special moment.
Right.
Here we go. All right. Let's get a pause. What I'm looking at, your hands.
Right.
Look at JJ's hands. Clearly under the ball. Now, I admit, I get the controversy. It seems like the ball does a little bit of a bounce, but it looks to me like it's bouncing off of your hands, hits your shoulder pads, and then you capture it. Because if you keep going right here, you see that right there as he locks it in.
Yeah.
What are we talking about, right?
And then what people don't realize, too, is that it rained like 3/4 of that game.
Yeah.
So, you know, it was raining pretty much most of the time while the game was going on. So the ball was a little bit slick. So there were people saying, you know, when you came up, the ball looked like it was moving. But, you know, it had been a little bit of rain in there. And you know, it just, you know, but at the end of the day, man, that's just a great thing to be a part of for my team and my teammates. And you know, and that kind of propelled us on into the SEC championship game later on that year.
Now, I would say even if they did have replay, I don't think there would be enough to overturn anything. You know? So what are we talking about? All right, get Bam off the field, man.
We still in the locker room celebrating, I'm pretty sure.
How long has it been since we beat Bam in football?
Man, it seems like 2 lifetimes. And it was crazy because I think we beat them. You know, that was a point to where like we beat them 2 or 3 times because we beat them 2 years after that.
Yeah.
Anthony Eubanks made a big play on a long touchdown. And and so, you know, but it's been hard, man. That's a very hard place. That's a very hard place to win. And you know, and any time that you can get out of there with a victory, it's big time.
All right, let's keep this thing rolling real quick. Take a look. Let's go ahead and get to this is a coaching moment for me. All right. This is something you're good at. You just have to figure out how to get the ball in your playmaker's hands. You know, I saw a lot of reverse, a lot of sweeps, a little toss. When you have a guy as talented as you just have to get the ball in the hands. Reminds me like Joe Adams.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter how you get it to him, running back or whatever. So you're coming around here, but I want you to coach people up, all right? This is for my big fellas out there, all right? I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, So he's going out there and he's going to be blocking a smaller guy.
Absolutely.
Just run your track and let the ball carrier bring the blocker to you. Absolutely. Or the guy to you. So you're seeing this right now, a lot of green space. And then it gets to this point right here. See, the offensive lineman tries to break down and is reacting to the defensive lineman. What do you need him to do for you right here?
Man, just keep plowing. And
yeah.
Let me do the rest of the funny thing about it. The clip that you showed on the intro, I got in the end zone, but I ended up stepping out on like the 1 or 2, and just Carlos, he didn't block anyone. He was just running. And so coaches told him, just in the future, when you get out there, just throw and roll and just kind of let me cut off of that. So he kind of, instead of just going out there and throwing his body out there, he kind of chops down a little bit, but he ends up making a good block. And, anytime you can get positive plays in the SEC, we'll take it. That's a good chunk play.
Yeah, so you made him right. All right, so you made this guy miss. Absolutely. Now, tell me this. We always talk about in football, it's all about one-on-one matchups. It's me versus you. You got to win this one, right? You got to make one miss.
Absolutely.
What's your mindset approaching this guy right here?
Man, funny. This is one of my good buddies right here. His name's Clay Mack.
Hey, this is Clay Mack?
Yeah, this is my buddy Clay Mack. He's a world-renowned defensive trainer now. He's from Dallas area. Played 4 years. We're actually the same age. Played 4 years at Mississippi State. But, man, right now I'm just trying to get him on the wrong foot. I think, and I can tell you this, just being in press situations, one-on-one situations, the thing I don't want to do is I don't want to make my mind up too fast.
Yeah.
Right. I just want to get the pressure, put the pressure on him, and just like you said before, just whatever he does, I'm gonna make that be wrong. I'm gonna make that be the wrong decision. And I had him on a dead leg, but he still was able to hold on to me. He was still able to hold on to me. We crack up because we talk about this recently, and he was like, "Yeah, man, I wasn't finna let you go 99 on me. You said you had me, but
you see him right here. Yeah. Oh no. Now it looked like you about hurt his hip on that one right now. That's pretty fun competition, and I think that's special. Now, you talked about the year y'all had getting to this is the SEC championship.
Yep.
You're playing against Florida. What is it with us playing Florida in the SEC championship, right?
Man, for the longest, the only 2 teams that played in it really for the first 5-10 years was Alabama and Florida.
Yeah, yeah.
And so Florida was very dominant on the eastern side during that time, and then Alabama was just, you could almost pencil them in every year to be playing in the last game. So, man, it was just a big accomplishment to come out there and play a team of that caliber. You got the Heisman Trophy winners, their quarterback, Danny Warfel out there, and you had 4 or 5 NFL first-round draft guys out there, and just to be playing the only game on TV at that time on ABC prime time. So it was very big for us, our families, and also just for the program. Having only been in the SEC, I think that was our 4th year in the league.
Just a quick reminder before we get to this next clip. Any questions you have, go ahead and drop them in the chat. You can see we're going to go ahead and pop them up right here. We'll get to those here in just a little bit, and I got a few questions that people want to ask you right here. So, like I said, y'all stand by. We'll get to that here in a second. Y'all keep on go leaving the comments, and we'll check them out in a little bit. But let's get back to this right here. This is one of my favorite clips of you. All right. And I know a lot of Razorback fans see some amazing things you've done. SEC championship. You come into Arkansas 5'8",
5'6".
5'6". Yep. You 5'8" now? You grew 2 inches since then?
Man,
how's that work?
When I came in, the height chart started at true story.
Yeah.
The height chart started at 5'9".
Yeah.
And I went over there and I stood there, and I swear everybody just kind of cracked up and started.
Hey.
So they really just kind of estimated. So I was, any year you look it up, I'm somewhere between 5'6" and 5'9".
Yeah.
And I'll take.
Okay, we'll go 5'6". Makes this even better. This point that I want to make right here. Not highly recruited coming out of high school, right?
I mean, I had a few schools.
As far as speed, you had that for sure.
Track, but not, absolutely. Nobody wanted a 5'6", 142-pound wide.
You get out here, receiver, one of the best to ever do it at Arkansas, undersized. Probably people approach each and every game like, oh, we got this dude. All right. Arkansas right now, not doing too well as far as keeping up with the talent of other SEC schools. All right. And this is where I see plays like this. And I say, okay, forget all the measurables, forget all the accolades, preseason, postseason, what this hype is from here. It really just comes down to the competitive nature inside one individual. All right. And as we hit this clip right here, it's a nice little, hitch route right here. You get to the sideline, but right here, this DB, you don't let people punk you out there. All right. You probably know exactly what's going on right here. This dude tries to talk to you on the sideline thinking, okay, I got this little dude right here. But then you snap back, you don't back down to any challenge. And you're looking at this guy chirping the whole way back. And then what I really like is that fire right here. And you pause and just look at your eyes. All right. This dude right here is on fire. You look like you're about to go murder somebody. All right. Talk about why that is so important in this game of football and why this team, Arkansas, was always has their back against the wall. They feel like they can't compete with anybody. All that stuff don't matter as long as you got people like this on the team.
Yeah, man. I just to be honest, and I think you probably understand this. It's just on Saturdays I'm a different person.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's nothing more to it than that. I mean, you're in a different zone. I was cracking up. I was telling one of my buddies yesterday when I went out there and I saw the guy that was guarding me. I didn't like anything about him. I didn't like his shoes. I didn't like his socks. I didn't like the way he was wearing his wristbands. I didn't like the number he was wearing. He thought he was good, and I was just getting in that mode and just. And when you're out there and you're the smallest guy out there, I mean, it's and it's an alpha dog world out there. You can't let anybody feel like they have any type of dominance or any kind of advantage over you out there. So, I just wanted the guys to know that I was going to come to play. It was going to be 48 minutes. We're going to go all out, and at the end of that, I'm going to shake your hand and I'm going to respect you. But while we out there, it's dog eat dog.
Couldn't say it any better. Couldn't agree with you anymore. All right, let's go ahead and get to a couple of these questions right here. My guys here, Big C. And talk about that real quick. You don't know Jamal Thomas. I know Jamal Thomas. I play with Jamal Thomas, right? And that's my dog. You know what I mean? The day that I finally take on all this pressure and propose to my girlfriend and get married. It's her right there. That people tell me about once every 2 weeks that we need to get married. Jamal will be at the wedding and he's going to be one of my groomsmen. Babe is coming, I promise. Ain't she pretty? Look at her. Don't she look good?
You
Yeah.
Good. You outkicked the coverage.
I outkicked the coverage. She never heard of that. She said, outkick the coverage. What's that mean? You making stuff up? I said, that's old school stuff, I guess,
Exactly.
Exactly. But like, I keep up with all of the guys I played with. How special is that? Same thing with you. It seems like you even keep up with guys you even beat on the field.
Yeah. Absolutely, man. It's a brotherhood. I think you spend so much time with guys, and now with the transfer portal, you don't see that as much, and you don't see the continuity and the camaraderie as you mentioned before. But back then, most of those guys were just together for 5 years. We all lived in the athletic dorm. We basically grew up together. When I came to Arkansas, I was 17 years old. I hadn't even turned 18 yet. I turned like 18 the day before we played our first game here. So when I look at guys like Anthony Lucas and Anthony Eubanks, and in that group, those are some of my closest friends. I've been to their weddings. I've seen their kids get born, and it's just a good fraternity to be a part of.
Let's get a little honest. A lot of people want to know what's going on. This is from Val Powell, who's in the area here tonight. She's right there. She wants to know, what are your thoughts on the issues in the past few years? What do you think could help with the University of Arkansas? And this is kind of interesting because we went to a bowl game. Any other day, oh, great, Arkansas got to a bowl, but I still feel like they underperformed a little bit.
Man, I would say the biggest issue with Arkansas football right now is not helping high school coaches develop the talent that we have here in state. And I think that's really where it starts. We don't have a Joe Adams, or we don't have a DJ Williams, we don't have a Darren McFadden, we don't have
JJ Meadows.
Well, I'm a Louisiana boy, but just in state
fair.
because when I came here and my uncle played here in the '70s, he and Houston Nutt were actually teammates. I really didn't understand how the state and how people felt about the Razorbacks. I grew up LSU and Dallas Cowboys and all that stuff, but I had never been in a situation where it's just the team was the show. And so I think it helps when you have those guys, those in-state guys, and those guys are very good, and those are your core guys. Then that helps kind of elevate high school football in the state. And we hadn't had a draft, we hadn't had a class to where we had Joe, Childs, Greg's, just all of those guys that came in just all at once. We haven't had that, and so just doing a better job with just football across the state. Those guys being ambassadors to the state. And when I say that, just really being in those high school programs, getting to know these kids young, man, we've lost some really big recruits over the last couple of years. And man, we are not a state to where you can have a top 10 recruit go somewhere else and play. And so I know what we need to do that, but at the same time, we need to do a better job of making sure those kids stay here regardless.
Got to pay them. I hate to say it. I don't agree with it, but
I
it
don't-
is what it is. This is a landscape we're in.
I didn't want to say it like that, but I mean,
It is what it is. It's just, I
just
mean, and because we don't necessarily agree with it, doesn't change the fact that it is what it is. Carius Kern, he's a big example. Offensive lineman from, yes,
Dumas, big boy.
and he is going to be a dude. He's at LSU right now. I've seen all of his offseason. He's benching like 400 plus pounds. Big dude plays offensive line, 350 pounds. He was doing backflips in the end zone. I mean, you just don't have guys like that come through our state almost ever. Last time we saw someone in that caliber, maybe like a Sean Andrews type.
Big Drews is the only one I can think of.
Yeah.
I mean, he is in that mode and like those guys, man. But also, we let the kid get 4 or 5 SEC offers before we offer them, and so we just been late. We've been late on kids that it's non-negotiables, it's must-haves, and we've missed on those kids, and we haven't kept the guys here. But all that being said, just having a year or two with Petrino, and he comes out and we win a couple of games, then we'll start getting those kids all over again, and then we'll be back. But we just play in a conference that's just it's very tough to win at this level, and you can't win with this level without coaches say I want to build a fence around the state, and that's
Coach Nutt said that
exactly. But and that sounds great, but really, what does that look like? And that looks like not letting kids like that end up at LSU.
100%.
Yeah.
Kind of same thing we've heard about, Kane Archer. Heard some interesting recruiting things with him as well. He's a quarterback over there at Greenwood. I bet you know more than I do about it. You know something about that? I saw a little smirk on your face.
Man, just to be honest, I like Kane. His brother Cash was a hell of a player too. That's going over there to UCA defensive end. I mean, I think he's going to be good, but I don't know if he's going to be in that mode of a Ryan Mallett or a Joe Ferguson or one of those guys. But the kid is going to be very good. But there was a kid, Drake Lindsay, last year at Fayetteville that ended up at Minnesota. So,
and he had a very interesting last name too, right?
Oh, that was I don't want to comment on that one either.
Yeah.
But just kids like Drake and like Kane, I don't see how we can let those kids go to school somewhere else.
Yeah.
Just, and just with the lack of talent that we've had, and we haven't had great quarterback play. So just having guys that can spin it and have been successful, just having those guys around the program. But the bad thing about that is also that, you got multiple receivers out there playing. You got multiple O-lines. You can only have one quarterback out there at a time. So that just kind of makes that a little more, you have to be. It's a little more of a test game with quarterbacks when you consider who's there, who's coming, and the amount of playing time that you're going to get in 4 years to play 5.
Now I'll go ahead and pull this up right there because this has something to do with it. Thoughts on NIL and transfer portal? You said we haven't had great quarterback play in a while. I think we got a guy right now making a little bit over $1 million a year to play quarterback at the University of Arkansas. Thoughts on Taylor Green?
I just want to see Taylor Green make a big step forward this year. First of all, we need to see him be accurate. I think when you start talking in terms of quarterback play, if you ask any coach from Pee Wee all the way up to the NFL, they want to see guys that we know where the ball is going, where it leaves their hand. So I think accuracy is a big deal. We missed some guys that were open last year, and just being able to make some completions here and there is going to keep drives alive. But also he's had a second year with Petrino, and we know Petrino is definitely an offensive guru and a quarterback whisperer. So, but it all starts with him offensively. So now, as far as NIL and the transfer portal, I think there needs to be some type of limitations as far as guys transferring in year to year contracts. The funny thing is that what most people don't understand is that it's always been year to year contracts, but it's just always been in the interest of the school and the teams. So coaches have always had the ability to not renew you after a year. But you just didn't see guys moving around so much. So I would say that there probably needs to be some type of limit on the transfer portal. And I think college coaches would like that more, knowing they're going to have a guy for a year or two. And then just contractually, you got to understand that a lot of these kids or parents, they've never been in situations to where they've had to necessarily honor contracts or, they've had $200,000 or $300,000 and such. And so, um, I just think we need to do a better job for the kids, not necessarily for their parents and all the people that are hanging on. So I would like to see something with the NIL money to where they get the money. I don't have a problem with that. But let's just make sure that they have some money 20 years from now, 15 years from now.
We got a question from one of our guys in the crowd. He wants to know what was it like playing with a lefty? Is that? I never even thought about that. I've never played with that. Ball come out a little different.
It is different. And
Really?
it took me a while to kind of get used to, especially on this deep ball, because I always felt like it was spinning opposite, because you're used to the ball turning over like this, but his ball is turning over this way or the opposite.
I've never thought about that.
So it does take a little bit getting used to. It's really harder on the coaches. I know coaches like Steve Spurrier said they would never take a left-handed quarterback because it basically flips the playbook and it also flips the protection. And if your quarterback is starter is left-handed and your backup is right-handed, then you're basically going into the game with two different playbooks. So it makes a big difference. But I will say that probably the best thing that Barry Lonnie brought to the table was his accuracy. He's very accurate quarterback. So and he was good. He reminds me of a lot of a Drew Brees guy. Not a real big arm, but just very smart and understood how to get the ball out on time and where it needed to be. But for me, he's the first left-handed quarterback that I played with from Pee Wee all the way up. So it was a little bit of an adjustment, but we spent a lot of time together and we hooked up a lot over that 4-year period.
All right, we got Alex Shirley in right now. Wants to know, what do you think about Arkansas' schedule this year? And I will go along with that and pair that with another one from Ebony. Right now, OAKLAWN has Arkansas 5.5 wins this year. You betting on that or what?
Ebony, why you did it? I'm gonna say 7.
That's easy money then.
I want to say we win 7 because I think we need some continuity in the program. If we do anything less than that, it's going to be a clean house. And so, just for the kids and for the sake of everything moving in the right direction, even if we win 8 or 9, I'm still not sure Pittman will be back either way.
Whoa, easy. See, I wasn't even gonna ask that, man, but since you opened up that can of worms. Whoa.
He loves this place. He loves his cold beer. He got paid a lot this year to finish out this year.
So you think no matter what, this is it?
I mean,
let me pull your camera up. This is a hot.
I mean, if we win a national championship or we go to an SEC championship game, I think he'll be back. I think if we have a good season, I think he might ride off into the sunset.
Okay.
Either way. But and if we do anything less than that 5.5, then it'll be a rough Christmas in Fayetteville.
It'd be a very unfortunate Christmas in Fayetteville. I know people would not be happy. I know Miss Donna, if that happens right now, she may jump off a cliff. And I don't got time for that because I like Miss Donna. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
That'd be a rough patch right there. Once again, let's go ahead and get to one more. I want to know this one right here. Actually, I already had that one right there. I already talked about that. Somebody brought up, who is Charlie Ward? Did you play with somebody named Charlie Ward?
Charlie Ward?
You making stuff up?
No, I did not play against Charlie Ward. Charlie Ward played. Charlie's maybe 2 years older than me, but he played at a Florida State, right? Yeah, he's a quarterback at Florida State. Won the Heisman. Was also didn't get drafted, surprisingly, but was a quarterback, and he also was a point guard on the Florida State football team.
He locked in on it.
Somebody brought up the schedule.
Yes.
Man, first of all, Notre Dame at home.
Yeah. Let me pull that back up.
That's probably going to be the hottest ticket in Fayetteville, and I don't know, probably in a billion years. Probably since they beat Texas in like 1908 or something like that. So I think that'll be a big game. I think, like I said, just playing Arkansas State in Little Rock. I think that's going to be a big game for the state. But that's also a game that we have to win in convincing fashion. If it's a close game going into the third or fourth quarter, I think it'll be a long season for us.
They want to know, what do you think the hardest game on that schedule is?
Early season, it'll be Notre Dame. And then once the SEC season starts, it's, people say, oh, we're only playing Vandy or we're playing this. It's no easy outs once the SEC season starts. Like, regardless of record, you're still playing teams that have SEC caliber athletes on that team. So it's no easy outs once the conference starts. You know, Alabama's going to be tough. You know, LSU is going to be tough. You know, just the conference is just tough all the way around from A to Z. But I think the early season Notre Dame, I think that's going to give us a good indicator where we are.
All right, man. JJ, that's really all I have from you. And I guess we'll kind of pull this one up, too. Somebody said if the Hogs lose to Arkansas State, ooh, do you think something happens before people leave the field? If Arkansas loses to A State?
Well, I play for this guy by the name of Jack Crow, and he was my football coach for exactly one game.
Dang.
The man coached, man, I was promised. The first game I played as a Razorback, we played the Citadel in Fayetteville. We lost that game, and I was actually sitting in a Chinese restaurant with my parents, and a guy came over and asked me who the next coach was going to be.
Talk
Like
about a short lease.
man, this was like 4 or 5 hours after the game. So, but you know, we if we lose to Arkansas State, man, I would, to be honest, I would be happy for the people at Arkansas State, but also at the same time, man, that probably would send the Razorback football program into shambles.
I wouldn't be happy for people at Arkansas State. I got family that even went there. I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna double down. I ain't trying to hear it. I'm with a lot of people. They don't even. I'm gonna stir that pot, huh?
Don't do it. Don't
I gotta
do
forget. I also have I'm on morning show. I gotta be appeal to the masses. But I like giving people from Arkansas State a hard time. They gonna lose by 50 in Little Rock. I can't wait for that one. I'll be there cheering loud and proud. They better lose by 50 on that one. All right, so this is what I like to do, all right? I'm going to let you pop up for a second. Don't go too far.
Okay.
I always like bringing in one of my wise guys, all right? And I see some of my crew over there. I want one of my wise guys to find their way over here because I need to talk to y'all here in a second. Go ahead and recruit me one, babe. So I don't know, JJ, I was telling you about this. This crew for the wise guys, real deal, all right? So we had a good time out there. The whole family went out, and I always like to show them a little bit of love before we wrap up each episode. So go ahead and hop off real quick. Stick around for a little bit. We got some stuff to talk about right after this. But everybody back at home right now, I really encourage y'all to find your way down to Hot Springs. Come on, man. Come on, pop up here. I really want you to find your way to Hot Springs and watch what these guys have going on, man. They are so special. Big fans of these guys. Each and every week having a good time. And so let's go ahead and throw that headset on for me real quick. Let people at home know exactly who you are, what you got going on.
I'm the Darian Primes.
Ladarian Primes.
I'm from Houston, Texas.
H-Town in the house.
Yeah.
So, all right, position. What's
I
like?
play linebacker, DN, anything the team needs.
Anything the team need. All right, whatever Coach Bones say, you're gonna be there and hanging out. So talk about. So I went out there this weekend, man. Y'all are flying around, and something I wasn't ready for. I think the fans are amazing. Y'all jumped into the stands before the game started and interacted with the crowd. That's probably one of the coolest things I've ever seen. Whose idea was that, and where'd that come from?
That actually came from Coach Bones.
Coach Bones, that's big time right there. I mean, what do you think about the town of Hot Springs, the way they have supported y'all so far?
I really like the town of Hot Springs. You know, they come out, they support, they always at all the events. And they welcome us.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I saw y'all got like a little fan section over there too. They start all the chants and all this. So speaking of the game, y'all ain't playing around out there, popping pads, trying to knock each other's heads off. I remember the first drive of the game when y'all were on defense. I thought y'all knocked out their quarterback of the game for the entire game, but he got back up. Shout out to him. It was a very, very tough loss, but man, it was very fun and exciting to see y'all play. What is it like? What's the difference between playing arena football and other football that you've played?
The difference is it's shorter field.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like it's more faster.
Yeah.
And you can throw people over the wall.
Hey, I saw that. I saw some dude. It may have been for us. He even jumped up by the wall like he was trying to get hit over the wall. But talk about a few of your players. Now, Ambrose is a character. I talked to AD a few times. Who's number 7, receiver, number 7?
Troy Evans.
Yeah, Trey Evans. Was that him right there? He a dog out there, man. Very aggressive, great hands.
That's the one who tried to jump over the wall.
Oh, that was you trying to jump over the wall. He's trying to do it on purpose. But, man, I see that y'all got really good vibes. And y'all just all got here not too long ago. What has it been like hanging out with the guys on the team?
It's been cool hanging out with a lot of the guys. Most of them young, you know. Most of us who just getting here, we are the older guys.
Yeah.
So,
What's old for you?
Us.
How old are you?
31.
Okay, yeah, we are old. All right, you hold it down. Dang, you still got it in the tank. That's
Yeah.
impressive, man. I was not expecting that. What's your journey been like? 31?
My journey been ups and downs.
Yeah.
I graduated college in 2020,
Yeah.
and it was a COVID year.
Okay.
I ended up playing in the spring league.
Mm-hmm.
That was like the USFL now.
Yep.
They changed it. They just changed the name over.
Okay.
So I went there from 2020 and 2021, and then indoor was my first year in 2022.
Yeah. And like it here. So it's fun. I also want to ask about y'all got some tight ends. I'm not sure which one is tight end. Was it number 13 or
15?
15? That's a big dude.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Who is that?
That's Vincent.
Vincent.
He's a demon.
Vincent ain't playing around. People don't want to tackle Vincent. We were talking. The cool thing about it too, if you go to these games, you can talk trash to people because they're right there in front of your face. And we was trying to give that DB a hard time, and he's like, "Damn, dude, that dude 300 pounds. We ain't trying to tackle this dude.
He be throwing him around like it's nothing.
Yeah, and he's a dog too. Very aggressive. He almost tried to fight for a whole time. We had to get a few people off of him, but I think it was exciting, man. I had a blast. I'll be at the next home game. The next home game will be on the 19th, I believe. And then y'all have one more the week after. All right. So put that on your calendars. Come support the Wise guys. I'm telling you, they are a blast. They are fun to watch. Coach Bones. It caught off guard. I didn't know his he got a nice little outfit, or not an outfit, but his coaching gear. Does he wear that every weekend?
Yeah, he be fly.
Looking like a mob boss out there. He ain't playing. Yeah, he wasn't like that in warm-ups. He came out. I was like, okay.
He know how to switch it up, man.
Yeah, he switched it up. All right. No, it was fun watching y'all play, man. So I appreciate y'all. We're gonna go and wrap up this stream. People here have a chance to win $100, $50, $25. You've been or $30. You've been here before for that. All right. So I see AD's not here, so you got a chance to win a little something today. What topic you want to do? You can pick any topic. I got a whole new thing.
A topic.
How about I show options on the screen and y'all pick on that one? All right.
We could do that.
And I once again, I want to remind people too, because we had kids play last week, and so I get this is the casino. The main line is completely different from the casino. So you park outside. You don't even walk through the casino. Come here, family-friendly environment, a chance for kids to play some trivia games and to win some prizes so they can pay for everything as well. So appreciate you, man. Hold it down for all those old heads out there.
Yeah, I ain't the oldest, but
Who's the oldest?
Troy.
How old are you?
35.
35. I'm 36. What am I doing? I got to get out there, boo.
She ain't having it.
I don't think I can do it. I'd blow my hamstring out. That's impressive, man. 35. Are you hurting right now? You good? You must eat clean. You drink? He doing something right. How about that? All right, we're going to wrap this up here. Y'all stick around. We're going to go ahead and start a little trivia. Throw it up real quick. A chance to win a little something. I appreciate y'all. Thank you, y'all, for watching 4th and 5. Y'all stick around. Trivia coming up here in just a second. Big shout out to